Good day, Ruskin enjoyers. I hope you're right, because it's time for the predictions video. Yes, earlier today, we got a lovely batch of skins right here in front of you, but in this video, we're going to go ahead and try and figure out which of these skins is potentially best investment for this week, which of these skins might help us walk away with some sweet, delicious look of profit. So sit back, relax, and I start yapping. Right, sorry if I sound a bit sick, I am. I've been yapping a lot because I was taking part in the medieval roleplay event today. It's fun. Anyway, coincidentally, we got some medieval skins, so that was cool, especially the crown and the robe. I was passing them around to all the kings in the server. But let's just focus trying to figure out what potentially is the best investment for this week. Come on now, surely something here is looking interesting. And I think I'm going to talk about the hammer. So, you know how quite recently we literally just had the Harbour Seal hammer, and you could go back, watch the predictions video when I talked about that, because during that week, that was the same skin. Literally the skin I thought was going to perform the best out of all those skins for the very first Rust Tour of 2025, so all the way back over to here. And as of now, that is, well, true. It is correct. And the main point behind what would likely hold up, the value of that, is because we just don't see that many hammer skins being accepted in Rust Tours anymore. What's just happened today? Oh, yeah. But consider this. What if this is like the only other hammer skin this year? But you should also be cautious that maybe there's going to be more. Don't forget there's also Twitch drops, but it's more skins and Rust Tours that seems to have a negative effect, I should say. Because we have had quite a few, Twitch drops here and there. But if you look at all the hammers that have come out, well, ever since they first came out, only one of them's down in price, and that's the recent Christmas one. And that is one of the better performing Christmas skins out of all the Christmas skins back in 2024. They've all gone down pretty bad, like half in price. That one only down by 15%. You look at all the other hammer skins here, every other one of them is in the positive. We don't get many skins, and because of that, there's not that much competition. A lot of these skins came out a long time ago back in the past. There's only so many of them in circulation, so a lack of competition, all the better for these to rise up in price. And that can be said with these two as well. So yes, they sold a fairly decent amount, or rather that one did and that one did. Point trying to get across is they've sold around 15,000 subscribers, but they're still doing good, and if it stays like this, it will stay like that. So, Easter Chick Hammer came out last year for the Easter of 2024, sold a reasonable amount, a very goofy looking design, and then it ended up going all the way up to $7 during post-Christmas just about a month ago. Now, of course, it has gone down in price. A lot of skins have started to go down in price. Not ridiculously, but it is noticeable. And I did sit here and say last time I looked at that Harbour Seal hammer that, yeah, that might potentially get like a lovely collection around it with more Harbour Seal skins. That could progress ever so nicely. With the medieval hammer, it is, well, completely something completely new from Mr. Himmick. I don't know if he's going to be, cooking anything new. So if I look at his recent submissions, nothing really implies that, oh yes, I intend to make a medieval collection. What would he do next? Tools, I guess? Is he going to make some sort of deplorables? I don't know. I know he's fully capable of doing it. He's had a lot of skins accepted in the past. But independently or by itself, I mean, it's fine. I don't see any issue with it. It's not abnormal. Got to point that out. It's a regular skin. It's not super flashy, which, I mean, it's fine. A lot of people do appreciate a good grounded design. If this does not sell that much, all the better for that to potentially rise up in price if there's a bit of a demand. Remember, if we do not see that many more hammer skins this year, people will buy it, and that will graciously and slowly rise up in price. Just don't expect a huge, big, fat profit. I'm pointing out that out of all these skins, what's potentially looking to be the best investment in terms of what's going to be the skin that's going to actually do a very good job of retaining its value, it's going to be the hammer. If we do not see like another 20 hammers this year, because Facepunch could just turn around and say, you know what, we could just accept lots of hammers, because people are always using hammers. This is always the weird thing. We don't get that many skins for them, but people are constantly using it because, of course, you can building up your base and whatnot. But yeah, none. So maybe we only see maybe a couple more this year. That should still be all right. It's kind of like how, randomly we start getting tons of like backpack skins, and then, well, how are they currently holding up? You'll find out in a bit, because I have to talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, so hammer, you're looking good. You're looking interesting. There could be potential awkward things happening, but it doesn't look like you're selling that much. And if we wait until Wednesday and then consider making a move, that'll probably be the smartest choice. But by all means, if you like the skin, go ahead, buy it, use it, enjoy it, support the skin creator, keep the nice motivated, keep want to put on nice creative designs in the future. You get the idea. So out of all these other skins, what's also looking to be pretty appealing? So literally last week, I talked about that no love cap, and I was like, guys, skin creators hardly ever make cap skins. That should be pretty alright. Like, don't assume it's going to go up in price ridiculously, but again, another situation of it'll be the skin that's most likely to retain its value. What happened literally the very next week? We've got another cap skin. That right there, that crown, right there, it's a cap skin, yippee! But at the very least, they are completely, like, distinguishable. Like, that's a big gimmick. I'm not saying that like it's a bad thing. A lot of people are appreciating that. A lot of people probably having fun with that right now, especially in the roleplay server that we're in for the event. So yeah, I can see that working out quite nicely. But this was actually submitted quite some time back, before we even saw that Valentine skin. So okay, fair enough. But maybe from here on now, skin creators have noticed that the cap skins are getting accepted. Maybe other people start making them. We shall see. But over the past years, we've had like next to none. So I kind of wouldn't be surprised that this is it for this year. But do keep an eye on the workshop. You never know. But that gimmick, it's funny. And I know a lot of people will be appreciating it. The transparency for the crown and whatnot. A lot of people are going to dress up as a king. And I do not expect another crown skin to be produced anytime soon. And I do not expect another one to be accepted anytime soon. So, cool. Fair enough. So, we'll see how that goes. Is it going to maintain that $1.49 price, which, of course, isn't the normal price for a cap skin? It's usually 99 cents. I don't know. We've got to wait and see how much it sells by next Wednesday, because that is abnormal. And if you don't know what an abnormal skin is, please consider watching my most recent Abnormal Barders video. So if we could quickly go over to here. So here's my YouTube, and here's my Abnormal Barders video. Consider watching the first 5 minutes of this video. Scroll down, skip ahead to the Barders. You'll basically get the general gist of what abnormal skins are. In short, with every single rust store that we see, there are certain skins that have some sort of special property to them that makes them become marketable before the rust store is even rotated the next week. And out of all these skins this week, only the hammer is not abnormal. Every other skin will be appearing on the market at a set time next week. We know exactly when it's going to happen, so we can figure out prices and whatnot. But first, we need to see how many sales have happened by then. That's the smartest way to approach these. That's the smartest way to approach them as an investment. Sounds good? Cool. So that cap, let's wait and see. Because for a nice example, if that sells more than this one here, okay, that might be a bit questionable, wouldn't it? So we've got to wait, haven't we? Cool. Right, so looking at the remaining skins here, what's looking like it could do a very good job of maintaining its price? Well, by default, I'm going to sit here and talk about the Ultramarine Clothing. So this is the final core piece of the Ultramarine collection. The arrival of this has caused these to get bought out, spike in demand, spike in price, as per usual. So, all right, that's cool. But on the horizon, we could still potentially see some boots and gloves. We could still see a jacket. All right, that would help out the clothing here. But just take this into consideration. There are no more core pieces. Tier 3's already been accepted. Tier 2's been accepted. There's nothing else after it other than the boots and gloves and the jacket. So you kind of have to hope for that. But also, you need to take this into consideration. How much is this going to sell in comparison to the Tier 2 and the Tier 3? When we had the Tier 2, that ended up selling like a couple thousand more compared to the Tier 3. But that wasn't a ridiculous amount more, so that worked out quite all right. As you can see, the kilt was doing better compared to the coffee can and the vest, but that's like a normal thing. But right now, coffee can has risen up in price, vest has risen up in price, along with all the other pieces. So whilst SCMM's a little bit delayed and hasn't caught up with the prices yet, it has happened. I've seen it. It's nice. So I was hoping that was going to happen because I bought 50 of the kilts. Yes! But I might wait until maybe tomorrow until I make a consideration to sell. So, or you could just wait until the summer, and that's where we expect prices to rise up ever so nicely all over again. Cool. So, all right, Ultramarine hoodie and pants. Maybe we can hope for some boots and gloves at some point in the future. But you are both abnormal, $2 a piece. Let's wait until next Wednesday, see what the sales look like. Because if it reaches up to like 20,000 subscribers, that is a problem. That would be far too many hoodie and pants compared to Tier 2 and Tier 3. So we've got to wait it out. Smarter to wait it out. But if you need them, if you want them, go ahead, buy them. Treat yourself, all right? So looking at the remaining skins, what's also looking to be quite appealing. I am curious about the protector garage door, but it could go very wrong. So this is a transparent glow-in-the-dark garage door. That immediately might sound very appealing. Just to point this out, and you can look at this in my rust rotation video, the transparency, it's not head height. You have to stand on something just to be able to see through it. All right, fair enough, but we've had garage doors like that in the past. Yes, we have, and I also show them off in my rust rotation video. So in short, basically, you have to be aware that there are other options. This is selling at $3.49, but quite some time back, we've had the Brutalist garage door, which you can see right here. This is now selling for $7. And if we scroll down a little bit more, we also happen to have the Bombshell garage door. So let me just quickly grab a link of both of those. And I'm sure you've seen them. I'm sure you're fully well aware of them in the past. So when I saw these progressing ever so nicely in the past, I was like, well, hang on a minute. Clearly there's like a magical formula for garage doors. Well, last year, we also saw the Junkernaut garage door. Transparent, a lovely bit of glow in the dark and whatnot. Like, it's a perfectly fine look and design. Just the perfect amount compared to like the Bombshell and the Brutalist garage door. That is half its price. Sold at $3, now it's sitting there at $1.50. What went wrong? Don't know. I guess people just don't like the design of it. You know, Bombshell and Brutalist do have like other skins, but this has only got like 2 other doors, and this has got like doors and clothing and armor and whatnot. I guess people just didn't like the design. Okay, well, you know what? We can respect that. And this is where I question what's going to happen to this, because I did bring this up with the Sheep Minador previously with the Protector set. So as you can see, that Sheep Minador, we've already had like Brutalist and Bombshell Sheep Minadors with transparency and glow in the dark. So I was like, did you really think that's going to hold up nicely? And of course, I also mentioned that there was a Junkernaut Sheep Minador, which also had transparency and glow in the dark. And that was selling for $1 at the time after selling at $3 in the Rush store, which this was at the time as well. So it's like, what do you reckon's going to happen? And evidently we thought it was going to end up more like the Junkernaut Sheep Minador. That did go down to $1 at one point, but now it seems to recover a little bit to go up to $1.45. But yeah, is this going to go down, or is it going to do fairly all right? Because we do have the Sheep Minador door here. That's sold at $3.45, and that's doing a very good job. At one point, this went all up to about $6-7. But yeah, post-Christmas has come and gone, so it hasn't really held up since then. A lot of skins, as I said, has started to dip down in price. So I'm very cautious about that. But guess what? It's abnormal. We can use the abnormal time to our advantage. Let's wait and see how many sales have happened by next week. Maybe it isn't too much, and that potentially could help it out quite nicely as an investment for the future. Cool. So, all right, now we're going to look at the rest of the skins. So I'm very curious about the Black Ops SAR. We've recently just had the Black Ops AK-47. Now, that has gone down in price. Not by a ridiculous amount, just a bit, down by 18%. But that was to be expected. We were expecting that. Because in general, with a lot of the black AKs that we've seen in the past, whilst they have dipped in price in the past, they do recover quite nicely when times are good. So during post-Christmas, a lot of them were up in price very nicely. And, you know, looking forward to the summertime, we could expect the same thing as well. Can the same be said with the SARs? Well, let me just quickly remind you that in the past, I mean, quite recently, we saw a Commando SAR being accepted, along with like the AK and whatnot, because we've been through this routine, haven't we? This SAR has gotten a bit cheap. Sold at $2.49, now it's sitting here on the Steam market at $1.56. On my Rust rotation video, which you can go watch right now if you so wish, I do the comparison. The Black Ops SAR is quite shiny. This, not so much. And, well, it's up to you in terms of what you think about that, but that is half the price. Black Ops SAR is $3. That is $1.56 right now. Yeah, you know, a few more sales and it's back up to close to $2, but the point still remains, it's cheaper. And do you think that SAR is going to hold up perfectly fine forever? Bit debatable. Plus, if you just take a look at all SARs in general, you might notice that a lot of them are down in price pretty badly. Very similar to AK-47s. There's a few that work out nicely, and the rest just kind of suffer. Bit awkward. But if I could just go back to the further past, you may see that in the past we've had things like Ops SAR, with a very useful green aim sight. This was before Blackout, so that was fairly expensive for a while. Doubled in price as of now. But then, a couple of years later, we see the arrival of the Blackout SAR. So this has been pretty good for the past few years it's been out. I believe it's reached up to $9 at one point. Right now it's about $6.50. It is what it is. A lot of skins have started to slowly go down in price a fair bit. But that hasn't really been toppled, even with the arrival of the Commando SAR. And what do you reckon? So I'm sure you've seen this in-game by now. Does look nice, does look stylish. It's just, I don't know if it's actually going to do a good enough job to maintain the price. Yes, the AK went down, but could that potentially go lower? I kind of wouldn't be surprised. However, these skin creators, Solodno and Mr. Kolotinsky, on Twitter, they've basically already revealed that they're making a Thompson next. And I'm starting to get vibes of what happened with the Black Diamond collection. If we could quickly go over to here, you may remember, started off with an AK-47 selling at a fairly high price, but what followed was a few weapon skins, then clothing and armour, and then we started to see the likes of deplorables. Oh, interesting. Now, a month ago, pretty much all of this was in the positive, but of course, as I said, prices started to go down a fair bit. But it did work out good. It became profitable. So, could we see that eventually? Take this into consideration. It seems every single year now, we're going to see a fairly interesting, well-established black theme skin set. So that right there could be what we see for 2025. What do you reckon? Well, feel free to comment below. So, all right, you know, that's looking okay. Next up, for the next skin, I wish to talk about the Popstar LR300. So, you know what? Cool. We got a sequel to the AK-47 that was accepted quite some time back. Now, of course, you could kind of like bring up the Sheep Minador that we have for Christmas, but that doesn't seem to be part of the same set. Similar design, but yeah, still made by the same skin creator, but yeah. Anyway, pretty cute. Even when you shoot, you've got a little creepy, scary, devious anime girl. But hey, you know, it's a style. It's interesting, and people like that. but people don't seem to like LR300s. And one quick glance at all the skins that came out over the past few years, and it's not too hard to notice. So many of them down to like $1, so many of them like half in price. It's quite sad to see. Some of them have worked out a little bit better, but the majority, yeah. So it doesn't seem to compare nicely to the AK, it seems. But with the AK, we have far too many skins. Bit of a different thing, but yeah, LR300s by default, they don't tend to work out very nicely. That's abnormal, and you're probably better off with a builder. But if you appreciate that skin, if you would like to see more Popstar skins in the future, more anime and manga styles, feel free to go ahead and buy it. Show your support to the skin creator. We shall see what happens next. But yeah, that's up to you. Next, I am going to talk about the Red Monarch Cape. So, okay, cool. You know, pairs up very nicely with the cap, of course. But the reason why I'm talking about this now is because I'm a little bit worried about this. In the past, well, literally last year, we got something like this for completely free, and I'm pretty sure you do have it. So if we could just quickly look and see, last year we had the Will Neff and Sear jacket right there with the transparency. Now that's definitely more of a cape, whereas the brand new Red Monarch jacket cape thing, it's more like regal, more for the king, royalty and whatnot. So, okay, fair enough, but will people care that much? I think a lot of people might want to just save their money. Anyway, for what it is, I can see it selling quite nicely. As of now, it's the top 2 selling skins, so clearly people care. It's just, do people care enough to keep wanting to buy the skins afterwards? Look at the transparent jackets we've seen in the past. In fact, in recent past, down 28%, down 56%. Scroll down a little bit more, look to last year, what do we see? Down 25%, down 53%. It ain't looking pretty. And then we look at Berserker, down 72%. So before we were like, oh, will people actually care about the transparency on jackets? Apparently not. Well, there you go. So I am concerned about it. Yeah, for a fun gimmick to pair up with the crown, it makes sense, but is that enough? So yeah, I'm not 100% convinced. I'm a little bit cautious about that. So you can consider being cautious as well. A barter might be the smarter way to approach it. Looking at the remaining skins, large, small box, fun, silly gimmick, but that's literally all there is. Seen it in game. Yeah, it's a non-glowing small box that looks like a large box. Hey, you know, it's funny, it's silly, just don't really expect much of it to say. And if I could just take a quick look at all the small boxes, whilst a couple have worked out quite nicely, quite a lot of them have not. A bit awkward, yeah, giggle at that. We have had Twitch drops and whatnot here and there, but yeah, not looking super reliable, I'm just going to sit here and say so. Not feeling that confident. And then with the Night Backpack, I'm going to leave this for last with a question mark of I just kind of don't know. I'm not really sure. It's really not selling that much, as you can clearly see. It's the lowest selling skin so far, but that can easily be attributed to the fact that we've had so many backpack skins since they first become skinnable. Far too many, you might also say. Now, we do have this Desert Nomad backpack, and it's, well, brown, and I guess a lot of people are appreciating it in the desert region, but I was anticipating when I first saw this, surely at some point in the future, someone's also going to make another brown backpack, and then that will probably suffer because of it. Well, lo and behold, this is mostly brown, and it's light brown. Now, it does have like some blue and some white. Yep, it's noticeable. The shield, understood. But for a cheaper option, do you reckon people might be using that? That is a bit of an interesting thing to consider. I might have to make a short video showcasing that, a nice little comparison. So, all right, but it's another backpack. People seem to be fatigued with the amount of acceptances. Facepunch loves just cramming it into your face and saying, take it like it. But I think they're going to probably start slowing down with the acceptances. We did see that for a while. Now we've had 2 in the trot, so... But yeah, you get the idea. So I'm cautious. So many backpacks have suffered pretty quickly. So, again, abnormal. You could just do a lowball barter. Maybe that might work out perfectly for you. But yeah, I think I need to do a nice little comparison of those. I want to see what the difference is. So anyway, that is basically everything. It's a perfectly fine looking rust store, but it's not Valentine's. What happened to that? Don't know. We thought it was a probability, but I did walk into this expecting that, yeah, there's a fairly decent chance it's just going to be 1 week. And yeah, it was. So if you're questioning those choices, keep questioning, I guess. I mean, shrug. I can't say much else. So yeah, 200 plus skins submitted. These were the 10 they picked. Right then. So is there anything else that we can discuss? Quite a lot of you have been asking, Hedge, when should I buy my skins that I want to buy, I crave, I desire, whether it was Forest Raiders, Blackout. Look, at the end of the day, you're just going to have to sit there and say, look, I want it, I desire it, just go buy it, all right? I understand you could get it for cheaper, but the player counts have been super solid. February's been doing much better than what I was expecting. Like, February is expected to do better than December, and people had time off in December. It's so strange. So yeah, Primitive Game Mode came out and people like it, I think. But a lot of people are very curious to jump in and enjoy it, so alright, fair enough, we understand that. But yeah, it's got 118,000 average players at the moment. Maybe by the end of the month it drops off a little bit more, but it's still expected to do better than December. So okay, that's pretty interesting, especially when you compare it to the previous year. What the hell? Much bigger peak player count, for example. So will March and April actually drop off? Or will they hold strong still? Will we even go below 100,000? It's very interesting to see this, because if the player count really doesn't drop off, that means the drop in interest in skins likely won't happen and the prices won't go down. But if you do some nice little comparisons and just take a quick look at some of the skins, so for example, if I could just quickly go look at the let's go say the face mask here. So yeah, I thought this would be a better option. So take a look at this. Look at the sale right now. It's currently sitting at $3.68. And if you could look at sales history, for a while it wasn't really doing anything because it didn't get any sequels. Then we got the surprise of the tier 2. Then it drops off afterwards. Kind of stagnates, goes down for a while at the beginning of February, but then it starts to climb up before we even see the arrival of the hoodie and pants. Interesting. A lot of skins have been like this, but not with the spike initially. A lot of skins rose. They didn't spike, they rose during January time. So maybe I should go back and take a look at the, I don't know, maybe we could consider the white, what was it, Thundergold AK-47. That rose up in price ever so nicely during the January time, but I've misspelt it. Typical. There we go. Take a look at this. I want to give this a good look. Very random skin, but it did rise up very nicely after having a bit of an awkward time during 2024. So it's gone down. It's going down. But does it look like it's dramatically going down? Not really. Could it start to curve out and go up a little bit more? Could, very likely. But yeah, that's what I've started to notice with certain other skins. So again, it really doesn't look like it's going down that much. But in the past, it's been super noticeable, when post-Christmas ends. With this one, it just kind of looks like, I'm getting there. It's take my time. Like, are we ever going to see this ever go down to a price point like that? I don't think that's going to happen with the Easter dip. But it's still expected to be lesser than the high point of what it was in January, post-Christmas. And then, of course, with the summertime, I expect it to potentially go even higher than that peak price. So, yeah, you're just going to have to make a good consideration. You know what? Maybe it's perfectly fine to just go buy it now, for whatever it is. But at the very least, you could wait until March, April time. That is the expected point where we see the lowest point. That is where we expect the Easter dip. Sounds good? Cool. So, last thing to discuss, over to here. You should be keeping an eye on the commits. Interesting details always being mentioned. We just had the Primitive Game Mode, the big update. But do we have anything interesting on the horizon? Well, I've just noticed they've decided to hop back onto the Twitch drops render. Is there more Twitch drops on the horizon? Well, keep an eye on the commits and keep an eye on Twitter. That'll be an interesting thing to do. And over to here, we have crafting update. What? Crafting update? What's this? Apparently, it looks like the cooking update and the bees and all that is getting merged into this crafting update. And if I could just quickly go over to here, Mr. Patrick Mazzolo, where are you, good sir? The man behind all the animations. When you're in the main menu, you see the animations in the background, and also the man behind all the gestures. For his March 2025 media, apparently, crafting update. There you go. So I think the cooking update's coming out of March. And I'm surprised, very surprised. So after just sitting here and saying, the Primitive Game Mode was pretty good for February, kept a lot of people interested and wanted to stay in, play and whatnot. Well, with the cooking update, with all the farming and the making of the food and the pie. Okay, fair enough. Damn, Face Punch on a streak, aren't they? Well, I guess we'll see how good March will be. I don't really expect that much with April. But you do have to kind of anticipate, because I was considering this. I thought the cooking update was going to take a fair bit longer, and that might delay the jungle update. I'm convinced the jungle update might be coming out in the summer. Again, speculation, not 100%. But they are talking more and more about the jungle ruins. That's another thing that's been mentioned quite a lot recently. So here you go. I've been spying on it, and it has been getting a lot of mentions again. A brand new monument for the brand new biome. Also, tigers have been talked about a lot more. They are going to jump at you. Oh, I hope you're looking forward to it. So, yeah, that's basically everything. Stay optimistic, see how things play out. But yeah, Skin prices are expected to still be down a fair bit for a while. Keep an eye on the skins that you have in your inventories. Just keep track and see. Well, I know this fairly pricey one's only stopped going down to a certain point. Maybe it might stay like that for a while, but of course, summertime, that's where we expect them to potentially reach new all-time high prices all over again. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Catch you later. See you. Goodbye.